So try not to, you don't have to go rushing ahead. You should try to stick with your tanks as they move forward. Does that make sense to everyone?
I believe so.
The net effect of this should be the healers, you're going to have much higher stacks. Every DPS should have much higher stacks, and you can focus in on the mechanics. Or just focus in on burning the boss, getting through that shield, and healing through the damage. We'll still probably need a healing cooldown, but we'll still play that by ear. Everything else about this fight stays the same, so watch out for the swirlies after each hammer. Remember to follow DBM when it comes time to jump in the center. And watch your colors on infusions. And I'll just throw these markers out. Remember to stack behind your tank for hammers. Oh, let's do a cauldron.
It's over by food.
Any questions about the fight tonight? Watch your colors, watch your swirlies, watch your fusions.
All right, I'm good now.
I might be on the wrong side, yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay, good.
The first infusion will balance everyone out.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You will not disturb the master's work.
Infusion.
I did not choose my fate.
4, 3,
Hammer of Creation.
1.
Hypnos, watch your side, you're on Fel. Go on the inside track. Swirls. Hammer of Obliteration.
4, 3, 2, 1.
That was weird.
You will burn in
Blow back, let's try this out.
I am compelled to ensure the end of your existence.
4, 3, 2, 1.
A necessary end.
Alright, wipe. Be sure to stay on that light brown track if you're not a tank.
Somebody was getting orbs on my side.
Right.
A necessary end. My vigil continues. But who is it I serve? I'm out of range.
Why is there no orbs down here now?
I don't know. Some trash despawned or something.
Is there a particular reason why that was insta-death for me, even though I jumped off?
Let me check.
Did you jump too early? Like, was the timer, like, you go, like, if it's a clock, you go at, like, 11:30.
Okay.
Because the slow fall is not, there.
Okay.
Looking at your death and what?
Did he maybe jump instead of switch sides?
It says you only took 400,000 damage, and that basically did 80% of your health.
Somebody
Yeah.
jumped in the hole like 5 seconds too soon. I don't know if that's what it was, but that definitely happened.
It's me.
Could be. So yeah, remember on Heroic you don't have the slow fall. So DBM will warn you when you can jump in the hole.
Gotcha. Sorry about that.
That's okay. And reminder to everyone, stick on these tracks if you're not a tank.
We've all jumped too soon. It happens.
Yeah. It's very different than normal. I mean, I just jumped off the side when I didn't even have the debuff.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
So, it's okay.
So as long as you're not that guy, you're okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What lies below is not for mortals.
Infusions, what's your colors?
Know the torment of a soul divided.
4,
We got a Hammer of Creation.
2, 1.
Beware.
Hammer of Obliteration.
4, 3,
Beware.
1.
Necessary end. Your kind will be cleansed from this world.
Get Jim up.
Doing it.
My duty is one mere mortals cannot comprehend.
I'm using Tranquility.
Someone ran and picked up orbs again. Because I went and picked them yellow, and as soon as I hit a yellow one, I got the bomb.
You're green.
You're a foul.
Oh, I thought you could... Nah, that was my fault then.
4, 3,
What's your colors?
2, 1.
Beware.
And we're gonna wipe here.
4, 3,
Beware.
1.
I'm sorry, I was light last time, and I just got confused.
It's okay.
Also, Jim, at the last second, it looks like you pulled the boss, like, further back toward the wall.
4,
But everyone's already stacked up with you. So when you do that last second, you're so
Oh, I can
by
barely
yourself.
hear you. Let me fix your volume.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So on that soak, on that Hammer of Obliteration, you moved last second toward the wall, and everyone was already stacked up with you, and so I mean, if you do that, we end up not being able to soak with you because we don't know you're moving.
Wait,
Right.
what are you talking? When? What?
So during the hammer, don't move. Like just stay in that middle position on the middle dark brown rail, and just sit there because everyone's gonna stack up on you so you can soak the hammer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did move near the wall. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so try to stick towards there. And you want to, if you can, use a bark skin around that time. But yeah, it's one of those things where you need the group to help soak you, otherwise you can just get splattered. It may make sense. Might be. What's the cooldown on Iron Bark?
1.5 minutes.
We could be rotating cooldowns because I shouldn't need it, but let's just focus on soaking, picking the right orb color.
But Brian can cast it on Jim too, right? Don't you have one
Yeah,
that's...
but we get 2 every 2 minutes, I think. But yeah, it dispawned. But I mean, if everyone soaks, we should be okay. But Jim, if there's a time to use bark skin, that's the time. Especially if there's like a lot of people on Fel got unstable sold. Pop a bark skin. And just so everyone knows, the tank should go all the way towards melee. So like almost right behind that first set of orbs. So that way the melee people can wail on the boss. Which is just you, Minimizer.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Infusion.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Hammer of Creation.
Beware.
Hammer of Obliteration.
Beware. Your kind will be cleansed from this world.
Did you get knocked back?
Yes, I did.
I am compelled to ensure the end of your existence.
I'm using Tranquility.
Lust. Infusion.
4, 3,
Hammer of Creation.
1.
Beware.
Green side, we're getting squirrels.
Hammer of Obliteration.
4, 3,
Beware.
1.
I messed that up. That was me. Confusion.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Beware.
Hammer of Creation.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Hammer of Obliteration.
3, 2, 1. Beware.
Ah.
Unnecessary error.
Oh, dang it. Well.
Your kind will be cleansed from this world. I am compelled to ensure the end of your existence.
Confusion.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Beware.
Hammer. Hammer.
4, 3, 2, 1. Beware.
Confusion.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Beware.
Hammer.
Unnecessary error.
4, 3,
4,
2, 1.
2, 1. Beware.
All right, wipe.
Your world's hope dies with you.
So the goal of having everybody follow the tanks is presumably to maximize the stacks that we get, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Jim, it would help a lot if you didn't go cat form sprint across and picking up all the orbs because you're defeating the purpose there because we can't keep up with you.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can
yeah.
sprint, but I'll just stay in bear form.
Yeah, just stay in bear form and just walk across.
Yeah, don't even sprint. Just go normal run speed because not everybody has the ability to keep up with that.
Like I said, I didn't sprint, but I won't be in cat form.
Yeah, just stick to bear, and the idea is it does take us a little bit longer to get there, but we should get there with a whole bunch of stacks, and that's going to help us.
Oh, I'm going to need a repair after this.
Are you good now?
Yeah, I'll be okay now.
Okay. We'll drop a hammer after.
3, 2, 1.
What lies below is not for mortal eye.
Infusion.
I did not choose my fate. Neither
4,
will you.
3, 2, 1.
Beware.
Mike, you need.
Sorry, I did not see you pull threat.
4, 3, 2, 1. Beware.
Unnecessary end.
That was my bad.
You will burn in power you cannot comprehend.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Just wipe.
Flesh is weak.
That is a long, vicious drop.
Dies with you.
Do we have a hammer? Oh. It's right in front of me.
Thank you for the repairs.
Hey, Iron Brew, have you ever covered with a group that once you go down in the hole, you have to bounce back into your color? If you don't, you end up giving everybody bombs?
That is an excellent point. And everyone take note of that. When you have the Untable Soul, you want to walk. So when you walk into the well, you're gonna get knocked back. So don't like go to the center of the room and then go straight. So your like sort of back is towards Maiden. You want to take it at an angle, so your back is actually towards like almost where the yellow marker is, or even further away from the boss. And also another good point, Minimizer, like especially goes to the warrior for you or the hunters, or if one of the healers feels particularly bold and doesn't need to be sitting still to be casting, feel free to pick up, or if we're on the same side. If we get two on the same path, or right next to each other.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What lies below is not for mortal.
Confusion.
Know the torment of a soul divided.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Beware.
Hammer.
Unnecessary end.
Wow.
Light side, you're not. You didn't soak that.
Yeah, at all.
4,
Hammer.
3, 2, 1. Beware.
You will burn in power you cannot comprehend. My duty is one mere mortals cannot comprehend. A sacred charge to serve.
Using tranquility.
Lust. Confusion.
4, 3, 2,
Gotta be right up on the tank.
Hammer.
Four, three, two, one.
4, 3, 2, 1. Beware.
I'm dead. I went off the edge too early.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Beware. Four, 3, 2, 1. Beware.
All right, you can wipe.
You will burn in power you cannot comprehend. I am compelled to ensure the end of your existence. My vigil continues. But who is it I serve?
So we need to make sure that we are stacking behind the tanks. Especially on that first one, if you walk in with the tanks and stand behind them, that means you don't have to move as far for that first infusion, and you're already there to soak if you're on the right side. We're going to be closer to the boss than you think. And food is down back here by the entrance.
Sorry, I had to adjust some sounds on Deadly Boss Mods. I'm coming.
No problem.
I went off too early because I had a countdown for something else, and I paid attention to it. And it wasn't for the Unstable Soul, so I jumped off like 4 seconds too early.
Yeah, I think that happened to me where you get the pop-up that says Hammer of Obliteration or something. And you think it's the Unstable Soul. And I have not Brutalin.
They had an update a day or two ago.
Mine's working.
Yeah, mine works now after applying the update just now.
How do you apply the update or the overlay?
You have to turn
There
the
it is.
overlay on in the settings, but there's a download icon, green little down arrow in the upper right corner by the closing minimize buttons.
Gotcha.
I may just have to apply that update.
You might as well. It takes about 10 seconds.
Although now it says just checking for updates up. I have to reboot Discord. We'll do it later. Watch your colors too.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What lies below is not for mortal eyes.
Confusion.
Not choose my fate.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Hammer.
Beware.
Hypnos, get up here.
Hammer soon.
2, 1. Beware.
You will burn in power you cannot comprehend. I am compelled to ensure the end of your existence.
Using Tranquility.
Confusion.
Of a soul divided.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Hammer.
Beware. Four, 3, 2, 1.
Hammer.
Beware.
Confusion.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Beware.
Hammer.
Four, 3, 2, 1.
Hammer.
Beware.
One.
Your kind will be cleansed.
Are you holy, Rocky?
Yep, I'm bad.
It's okay.
My duty is one mere mortals cannot comprehend.
Crap.
Sacred charge to serve the master. Your world's hope dies with you.
So I got a bomb that time right when the ball started coming. How in the world do you deal with that?
Just like normal, you're just not going to get the orbs. So what you would do is as much as you can follow along, and when the time is right, jump in the center and you'll get blown back. It may make sense to sort of turn as you're walking in, so you're getting knocked back either closer towards the boss or something like that. And then when you're running back into position, pick up what orbs you can. However, that's a sign that either you or someone else is messing up.
It could have been when I was on the
I
wrong
messed
side
up that time if you were on the light side.
Yeah, it's so. I think we've got this new strategy down. There's some practice we need to work. But what I really want everyone to focus on for this attempt is matching your colors and soaking the hammers. If you've noticed that the hammers leave behind that big circular area, you can, once you get a feel for it, you can actually stand right outside of it and still soak. So, it's, roughly the area is maybe twice the size of this snack table. So if you're just behind the ball of your tank by like 5-8 yards, that kind of distance, you'll still soak, and you won't have to move out of the way for that big swirl.
So DBM probably announces hammer regardless whether it's on which side it's on?
Yeah, it should be announcing hammer of creation or obliteration.
Oh, so how do you know which hammer's your side?
Creation always comes first, and it's always holy. Obliteration is always second, and it's always fell.
That's a good pointer.
Light is always the first one to soak. So that means if you are... And it usually happens very quickly after the infusion. So whoever's on light side, just when you move to your side, just move to soak positions.
So I'm not completely clear on that. So let's say you're yellow, hammer of creation comes out. What do you do?
So just to expand that window a little bit, it's always going to be infusion. Then like 5 seconds later, she's going to start casting Hammer of Creation. You need to be behind the tank, like almost directly behind the tank for the hammer to go off, because it's like a very narrow cone and you need to soak that damage with the tank. Now, the hammer, when it hits the tank, is going to leave behind a big circle of damage. That circle of damage is not, I mean, it hurts, but it's not the end of the world. Just walk out of it when it's time. What's super important is that on the other side of the room, so on the fell side after Hammer of Creation, she sends out the swirls that will trigger Unstable Soul. And fell side, she always casts Hammer of Obliteration shortly after she casts Unstable Soul. So for every infusion window, it's always Hammer of Creation, a little bit Unstable Soul, a little bit Hammer of Obliteration, and then it repeats to the next infusion window. So a fell side, if you want to look for Unstable Soul casts, that's a good time. If not, I'll be calling it out.
Okay. So, and maybe I'm the only one that doesn't get this, but so what I think I'm hearing is that Hammer of Infusion, yellow stack. Hammer of Creation, green stack. Doesn't matter. You're yellow one time and you go Creation. If you're green the next time, you go Infusion.
Sorry,
yeah.
It's Hammer of Creation is for yellow, Obliteration is for green. So you had the names a little mixed up.
Okay. And
go ahead.
So what is Infusion then?
So Infusion is when she changes colors for everyone. So she has 3 casts in phase 1: Infusion, the 2 hammers, and